Hi, I'm Susan, and I am a co-founder and president of Edwards Mediation Academy. I founded the business about 5 years ago with my husband, Bruce Edwards.
My name is Bruce Edwards. I am a full-time mediator and a co-founder with my wife, Susan Edwards, of the Edwards Mediation Academy. Well, Edwards Mediation Academy is a first-of-its-kind online platform that offers the highest quality video instruction on mediation and mediation-related topics. Specifically, we have courses on mediation skills, advanced mediation, developing a career in mediation, and most recently, mediation advocacy for lawyers, how to develop winning results for your clients. And those are all offered online for students and those interested in skill development.
Really what motivated us was Bruce has a long history of training mediators across the world. I think he started that 20 years ago when we were first married. So when we would travel, we were constantly astounded by the thirst and the need for mediation training. But it seemed like there was a real void, obviously, and not everybody has the opportunity, either the time or the money, to come over to Pepperdine or to Harvard.
Two things motivated me to start Edwards Mediation Academy with my wife, and she is a Stanford MBA who runs the business of Edwards Mediation Academy. One was, as I've traveled over 20 countries teaching and training mediators in person, I realized that we needed something that would allow us to leverage these lessons, and particularly the last 30 years of experience we've developed in the United States to different parts of the world where they could benefit from both the learning and the mistakes that we've made along the way. And the second motivation was that in these past 30 years of developing this nascent profession in the United States, many of my peers are starting to retire or worse. And frankly, I wanted to capture a lifetime of their lessons, of their experience, to be able to share with the next generation of mediators before it was too late. And so the combination of being able to capture those individuals on film, put it into an online format where we could leverage those lessons around the world was really the vision that my wife Susan and I had as we contemplated Edwards Mediation Academy. So Edwards Mediation Academy courses are one of a kind because they are distinguished from what has historically been available, what I would describe as talking head instruction. And our courses are designed from the beginning with an instructional designer in the mix who helps us determine how to best provide lessons to people in a manner that can promote retention and deep learning. And so that includes what we call gamification, or creating a role play that runs through our mediation courses that really draws people into the learning and propels them forward. And then along the way, we have different modalities of learning, from some talking heads by me, a certain written narrative, but much focus is on the interactive nature of the course itself, requiring people to reflect on the learning, to think about it, to make lists, sometimes even to go outside the four walls of the course itself and delve into related topics, and then come back and blend that learning with what we've offered. And then on top of it, we have all of these rich interviews with experienced mediators, neurobiologists, and other professionals representing years of experience in mediation. And we take vignettes of those interviews to support the moments of learning in the course so people can hear stories and other things that not just coming from me, but from a variety of other experienced professionals. And we blend all of those things together in a way that hopefully captures everybody's best efforts and promotes deeper learning.
I love producing the courses. I love planning and filming the mediations. I love the expert interviews that we do. Before we start a course, we sit down and we brainstorm the challenges that people have. And then we come up with ways to address those through these courses.
Mediation is limited only by people's inability to get along. Our audience is those interested in perfecting mediation skills or working in a mediation environment. We have trained all sorts of people who are looking for ways to improve their communication skills and their ability to deal with conflict in their personal and professional lives. The best online courses, I think, have to acknowledge the proposition that learning is experiential. That's how the human brain works from the standpoint of neurobiology. And so the best instruction historically is not just me talking through a screen to eager students, because there's limits to our attention span. Our brain function doesn't allow us to concentrate and inculcate deeper learning. It's clear that the Singapore Convention has raised the profile of mediation around the world. And in many countries where there were quiet whispers about the potential of mediation, it's now given us the platform, the ability to go into these countries and talk openly about mediation and how it can be used in business and other communities. For those countries that are looking to be the economic hub within their region, for example, it now gives them the resources to try and move in that direction. And it gives those of us who are intent on training and providing the highest quality lessons to develop that culture, that community, the entree to try and begin that conversation. I would say there is a steeper trajectory of requests for training around the world, and that's a wonderful thing. And Singapore has long established itself as a regional hub, if not a world example of what can be accomplished in alternative dispute resolution. And it's just wonderful seeing the Singapore Convention now add to that trajectory.
So we definitely have more students. There was definitely an uptick in the students. Obviously, that's the pandemic has contributed to that as well.
I think the answer to that, of course, always depends on what country we're talking about, because there are factors that influence the curve of mediation development within countries. For those countries like India or Brazil or Turkey that have years of backlog within their court system, my hope is that within 10 years, mediation has found its way within their civil and sometimes criminal justice systems to provide more meaningful access to justice to these people. In other communities that may be rife with political conflict, change of government every few years, court systems that are sometimes have issues with regard to corruption. These are countries where mediation, although equally applicable, may take slightly longer to develop. My hope is, and looking ahead 10 years, people all around the world will have been able to build on the 30 years of experience that we've had in the United States, to take those lessons, including those failures, and decide what works for them within their culture, within their political system, within their court system, and within their communities. Make strides in education. We can make strides in political discourse. We can make strides in community mediation, all of which is going to have profound impacts on societies where access to justice is currently delayed. Some of the best advice that I got 35 years ago, now almost 40 years ago, as a young lawyer trying to learn trial skills, was from a mentor of mine who said, "Bruce, there's only one you. Be your authentic self. Don't try and be me. Don't try and be someone else that you've seen in training courses. At the end of the day, you've got to be comfortable in your own skin. You've got to perfect your own innate talents and personality." And so I would start by saying to people, be yourself. Be your authentic self. Strive to develop the best you can be. And then once you find yourself in the room, be relaxed, be comfortable. Don't worry about making mistakes. After 30 years of mediating every day, I still make mistakes. Sometimes I have to apologize because I make mistakes, and that's okay, because if you get it right more often than not, you're helping the people in the room. And finally, I found that just the little mental thought of, I alone am not responsible for solving these people's problems. I'm here to help them find a solution for themselves. And there's a freedom in that acknowledgement that takes pressure off of me as I strive to really work with the parties and not feel compelled to try and get an answer for them. So all of those things combined, I think, will help you find and develop a mediator's mind about how you should be in the moment, in the room.